Hello, YouTubers. So today we have a very cool guest. We have yet another very hip, very cool acupuncturist as well as a fellow yogi. Welcome, Julie De Lagarde. Julie, you've been an acupuncturist for 12 years, and I think something that's really interesting is you are starting to integrate yoga into some of the acupuncture practices that you have. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. Well, I want to say hi, YouTubers, as well, because that was just adorable. Well, let's see. So I've been practicing yoga actually since 1995. I took my first class when I was in college as a dancer. And it was amazing and it was deep. And, you know, I think as a dancer, you're always exposed to yoga and you just sort of end up doing it a lot, but without even realizing, you know. And so I started actually getting acupuncture as a dancer when I lived in New York in the late 90s. And it restored a sense of wholeness in me that I had been missing for a while. And, you know, just followed down that winding path and ended up switching careers and pursuing it as a job and a career. And I started school in New York in 2001. Wow. Actually, I started acupuncture school like a week before 9/11 happened.
Wow.
And from there, chose to come back to California and finish school here. And then started integrating yoga back in about 4 or 5 years ago pretty seriously. And then found SmartFLOW in 2014 and wound that into first my self-care, and then decided to add that in for my clients so that they could have it as a mode of self-care as well.
And we all practice SmartFLOW, so we're all in that same yoga tribe.
It's like a code word for a very secret kind of yoga, but it's not secret.
So if you've never checked out SmartFLOW before, you can check it out. SmartFLOW.com, I think, right?
SmartFLOWyoga.com.
SmartFLOWyoga.com. And we've got planes going over, so that's what some of that noise is if you hear. And we're in this beautiful studio in Southern California. So Julie, you talked about acupuncture bringing you back to a sense of wholeness within yourself. Mm-hmm. Okay, what does that mean? How did you experience that?
Oh, that's a good question. Well, at the time I started acupuncture, I was a really, really busy grad student in dance and theater in New York. And it was a very singularly focused, very rigorous lifestyle and not very well balanced. So it was really a heavily goal-oriented lifestyle that put incredible demands on me, like body, mind, and spirit. And so while on one hand I felt like I was at the peak of this career and this passion that I wanted to do, on the other hand I felt like more and more parts of me weren't coming along for the ride. And I didn't really understand, like I didn't have any severe health concerns. And this happens a lot with clients that come see me. Some people will come with one major or a few major concerns that they want to address. And some will come because there's a whole kind of interwoven situation of things that just quite aren't right and they don't quite feel right. And so because acupuncture is holistic, we can kind of go through and look at the whole being underneath that and what parts are not getting nurtured and what parts. I mean, often it becomes more of like a lifestyle adjustment, as well as the acupuncture and the medicine.
Right, you start to change your life.
Yeah, make decisions that really support, I mean, we could say like your soul more, but that's a can of worms, but it does. It supports our soul. I think our body is the voice of our soul. And so if we have
That's beautiful. The body is the voice of our soul. So like, I think we all need, that's gorgeous, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it makes sense, so good. So I think when there are imbalances somewhere and we're not getting, that maybe it's, there's something in our lives we really want, but we're so focused on another area we don't know. I mean, for some people it may be more time in nature, more time with their kids, different, like love or rest, you know. We're more and more in our culture, I think, really hard on ourselves and constantly being pushed and pressured both from the inside and the outside to accomplish and achieve something that, you know, is some version of perfection or greatness. And I think we lose ourselves along the way sometimes. So acupuncture absolutely can restore that. Yoga, for me, has always restored that. like simpler things that remind us that we are whole. You know.
On that note, can I talk?
Yes, I was going to pause it and be like, you need to ask questions too. Yeah.
On that note, what are some like quick fixes for people when they are feeling a disconnect or not really integrated into their experience of whatever it is?
Or like anxious, that usually shows up as anxiety,
Yeah.
Right.
So a really quick fix for anxiety that I've actually taught my daughter, and she'll use it at times, or we'll do it in the car when we're having a moment, is just to put both feet flat on the floor anywhere, and bare feet's great.
Yeah.
And this is called the 4 square breath, and it's used by special ops agents and people in very high stress situations that need to calm their nervous systems down like immediately. So for this, it's called the 4 square because it's very simply just an inhale for 4, hold the breath for 4, exhale for 4, and hold for 4. So we can do it again. Inhale, hold, exhale, hold. And you can do this anywhere. You can do it.
It's like we have a new guest with us. Yeah.
So
I felt calm about this straight away.
Yeah, it's really useful anytime, like anytime, in the car, in the movies, and in the you can be on the job and just, people don't necessarily even know you're doing it if you're doing it in your own mind. So I would say the breath is a great tool always to calm. And if it's in particular anxiety, I think it's really important also to be in the body, because often anxiety is the mind moving into the future, or being worried about the past. So feeling, what does it feel like to have your feet on the floor, the backs of your legs on the chair, any clothing sensation on the skin, or even like the air going in and out if it's a different temperature. And the more that we can just focus our attention on the physical sensations of the body in the present moment, the more relaxing it is to the nervous system in terms of specifically anxiety. So
that's so helpful.
There's one.
I think that's huge. And so I guess my question is, what advice would you give to someone who's thinking about acupuncture but maybe might be a little bit hesitant?
Oh, well, just come try it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm like, have you ever had acupuncture?
I have. I go weekly.
Okay,
I go
so
weekly.
You wouldn't be one of those people.
No. But I've heard people say they're scared that the needles are going to hurt, or they're not really sure what it does. Yeah.
So the best thing about acupuncture is it really nourishes the natural resources of the body, and the body's like sort of nature by birthright. So all of the most harmonious and most optimal workings of the body are treated in acupuncture. So it really can't make anything go wrong, or make you be someone you're not, or anything. It's really only there to enhance you already inside.
So there's no negative side effects.
No negative side effects. You just like any other medical procedure, you sign a waiver that says, like, I could get a bruise, but that rarely happens, and I'm just saying it. There it is. No negative side effects, because the body won't go somewhere it's not ready to go. The body has an innate wisdom and intelligence that is far beyond anyone or anything outside of it, and it will know. It will know what it can do with what message it gets, and ultimately the needles are there to tell the body a story, and the story is like an optimal opportunity in the moment, and the body, mind, and spirit will take what it can use from that story and start integrating it immediately, and it will not bother with the things that it's not ready for. So it's really safe, it's really humane and gentle, and it has a lot to do with the practitioner as well. People work very differently. Some people work very mechanically and methodically, and I work more with the whole person, and I want to hear a lot of information, where things are out of balance, when did that start, what's it related to. So it's really a whole journey we go on together.
I love that.
Could you describe like what who would come to you and what they would need to do to prep, if there's any prep work, and then also what happens after. How often do they come? What are they going to experience?
Well, I love that question, because people come to me anytime, anywhere, for any reason. They find me through friends. They maybe they want to get pregnant and they've been trying. They have a friend who just got pregnant with me, so they come for that. I've had people come. I can be at a party and someone will pull me aside and be like, "My friend is in pain. Can you help?" So it really could be all things. Nothing is required to prep. Just know, it's 3:00 in the afternoon and you haven't eaten a thing all day, because you might pass out. But you might pass out anyway if you haven't eaten all day and it's 3:00. But that's it. There's really nothing needed to prepare. There's a series of questions that you could fill out, paperwork, but it's not a requirement. And for afterwards, it really depends. Some people will come in with a very chronic condition, chronic pain, and they'll leave and it's gone. And it never comes back. And it's
instant.
Totally.
Wow.
And that is no guarantee, and a lot of times that doesn't happen because there's a deeper journey that the body is calling us on, and it's sort of, through the woods, and and we do that. And that's as valuable. It just depends ultimately on what the person that's coming to me, what they're being called towards, So I really try and be in service of that and not define it or navigate it too intensely for them.
I love that.
And so afterwards, so it could be that, it could be maybe a lot of times people feel a little more hungry and a little more relaxed and sometimes tired. There are ways that I know if I'm going to do a heavily detoxifying treatment one day, I know they're going to feel more tired, and I might have them take a sea salt bath that night just to help the process. There are times I often ask if I want to do something like that, what's the rest of your day or couple days like. If they have a huge weekend, they're going to a wedding, and then I won't do that. I'll build them up and we'll do it the next week or something like that. So we can navigate it as long as we're talking about it.
So it's personalized. Julie, can you tell us, if people were to read one book to help them on their healing journey or to learn more about breath work or acupuncture or whatever it is, what would you recommend that book be?
Oh my goodness.
Maybe your book.
Oh yeah, you are a published author.
I am, but my book doesn't cover everything. So my book is Real Fit at Every Age, and it's available on Amazon in little paperback or on Kindle. And it's really about how to relate to exercise throughout our entire lives as a way to have optimal health. And also to follow our soul's journey, like that.
Sounds like it's a good starter book for people too.
It could be a good start. It's a really easy read. It's got pictures of my 96-year-old grandma doing her yoga on the back steps.
Oh,
and
wow.
My daughter, at age 2, and other people that were willing to participate in the book, which is great. Yeah, it would be a great start.
That would be a good start. So where do people find you? They can buy your book on Amazon, which is Real Fit at Any Age.
Real Fit at Every Age.
At every age, Real Fit at every age. And then they can find you on Facebook?
Facebook, my personal Facebook is Julie De Lagarde. I also have Real Fit Mama, which is a blog that I wrote for several years. And that's, Real Fit Mama has a Facebook page. I think we have 12,000. I don't know. We have some people on there. Pinterest. We have a Pinterest, Real Fit Mama. I think that's it right now. Everything else is under revamping. And,
revamping.
Getting a new
Anything
face.
else you'd want to share with people before we close out?
Oh my goodness. Well, absolutely. Always believe in yourself and just follow your heart, and whatever that looks like for you on any given day, it's always worth it. I think the quickest path to health and vitality in body, mind, and spirit is to follow your joy.
And that's
what I have to
huge.
say.
Okay.